Right now, 20 kids a day in the United States die from sudden cardiac arrest. Almost 1,000 Americans die every single day from sudden cardiac arrest. That's 4 plane loads of people that are dying every single day.
Would you know what to do if someone collapsed right in front of you? Florida is one of only 12 states in the nation that does not require students to have CPR training before they graduate. Well, a Jacksonville native and his daughter, they are on a mission to change that. They are on a mission to save lives. If it can happen to Lexi Seema, it can happen to anyone.
I was a 16-year-old athlete. I was the picture of health, and this happened to me for no reason. I was alive one second, dead the next, doing something I've been doing every day of my life.
3 years ago, Lexi collapsed while running on a treadmill. Her father, Sean Seema, a physician's assistant, was nearby when he got the call.
She had no pulse. She was not breathing. Clinically, she was dead.
The Seemas credit 4 strangers with saving her life.
If it wasn't for CPR and the use of an AED by 4 strangers in the gym that night, she would have been dead.
Lexi was life-flighted to the hospital, and after 2 days in a coma, woke up, lucky to be among the 10% of people who survived sudden cardiac arrest. Her father remembers exactly what the doctor told him.
Hey, your daughter just survived one of the most unsurvivable things there is.
Sudden cardiac arrest is different from a heart attack. It's an electrical problem that causes the heart to malfunction and suddenly stop beating.
And the statistics that are out there are mind-blowing.
More than 350,000 cardiac arrests occur outside the hospital each year, according to the American Heart Association. About 90% of them are fatal. When CPR is administered, the survival rate climbs to nearly 45%. And if an AED is used within minutes, 89% survive.
So we're on a mission. I tell everybody that night, like most of us, I made a lot of deals with God that if He would save my daughter, that I don't know what I'll do, but I'll try to make a difference. And He answered. And then right away, I wanted to make sure that no other parent would have to go through losing their kid.
The American Heart Association estimates about 7,000 children are impacted by sudden cardiac arrest each year in the U.S. Students like Paris Bird, who died in 2017 after collapsing at school in St. Johns County. She was just 13.
It's the #1 killer of our kids on school campus. It's the #1 killer of our athletes playing sports. We have a monster problem, but our kids aren't on the news for things such as like shootings and that. Our kids are put in body bags. We get a little blurb in the newspaper that so-and-so died of a sudden cardiac arrest, and you don't hear about it.
He is now pushing to make CPR a mandatory high school graduation requirement in Florida, something Dr. Sunita Ferns with Wolfson Children's Hospital says is needed.
Seconds count. If you want to put a time frame to it, 2 to 3 minutes, and after that, you know, your brain can suffer irreversible damage. You shouldn't be allowed to graduate high school if you don't know to perform effective CPR.
Schools train for active shooters, and the Seemas are pushing for them to also train for cardiac emergencies.
We have to train lifesavers, and we're not doing it right now. For a 1-hour class, you could teach, you know, however many kids, hundreds of thousands of graduates every single year in Florida can walk across a stage and know how to save a life.
Being prepared and ready to respond, the Seemas believe lives will be saved.
8 out of 10 chance that if we do everything right in that first 3 minutes, that we're going to save these children.
So really my mission for this now is for heart screenings to give kids the chance before there's even death involved. And then in the worst case scenario, if they don't figure that out, to give people the AED education and the CPR education so that if it does happen, they do get to live like me.
The Seemas are hoping, they're pushing
for state lawmakers to pass House Bill 259 this session. It would require school districts to develop a cardiac emergency response plan and also make CPR a high school graduation requirement. And Jeannie, you heard Lexi Seema mention heart screenings.
And I think it's so cool that Mr. Seema and Lexi, they're working together to try to push all this through.
They sure are. They both volunteer with an organization. It's called Who We Play For, and it offers non-invasive heart screenings called EKGs, ECGs for just $20. So if you're interested in learning more about that and more about sudden cardiac arrest, I have a lot more information in this story. Just visit firstcoastnews.com.